Om Brajo Rakhal Rupinam Sri Krishnasya Nitya Shakham Ram Krishna Dibya Shutang Maya Titesha Kotikam Ananta Bhava Sanjuktam Apurva Gyana Sagaram Ram Krishna Mayangnatham Shanti Dayaka Sannidhim Brahmananda Sarvare Kridantang Rajahanshakam Ram Krishna Kripa Patrang Tannama Amritadayakam Hridaya Ranjanang Bande Maharaja Rajesharam Sri Rama Krishna Parsadang Bande Sri Brahmananda Swaminam Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I salute and praise Sri Brahmananda Swami, the spiritual son of Sri Ramakrishna, who is dancing in the Vrindavana, taking the form of a cowherd boy, eternal friend of Sri Krishna, the divine child of Sri Ramakrishna, who is beyond all Maya and belong to the group of Ishvara Koti, absorbed in the infinite moods of spirituality, ocean of infinite knowledge, whose heart is melted with Sri Ramakrishna and brings peace to the humanity. That Swami Brahmananda I salute. He is playing in the ocean, in the lake of Brahmananda, like a great swan, and his name redeems the suffering and brings eternal bliss. Is the solace of the heart, delight of our heart, that Maharaj, the King of Kings, we salute that Sri Ramakrishna, apostle of Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Swami Brahmananda. Today our subject is Brahmananda Swami and his brother disciples. Actually, Swami Brahmananda, as you all know, is in our heart. This center is particularly more deeply connected with Maharaj Rajeswaram. Actually, Swami Prabhupada ji, founder of this center, is to say, actually Maharaj rules this center. He is just apparently he is in the front, but everything is conducted by Maharaj, and he used to feel like that. And even it is said that Swami Brahmananda, sitting in India, he understands what is going on everywhere. Such a spiritual force, that is Swami Brahmananda. And we find that it is unique, that Sri Ramakrishna was born, it is called in the white part of the moon, in the second Tithi of Phalgun, and we find that Maharaj was born in only another month different, the same, what we call the lunar positions of the sun, a moon and other things, and they become the spiritual son and one becomes the spiritual father. Great incarnations come. God incarnates. In the language of Sri Ramakrishna, he said that when God comes in the human form, if one sees God in the human form, then only the devotees can generate love for him. That's why that is the only time when they can create a relationship like brother, sister, father, mother, child, and they learn how to fall in affection with them. God becomes little and plays in the divine play only to extract the love of the devotees. That is Sri Ramakrishna said in one place. I am translating the words. And also Sri Ramakrishna said, why? Do you know why this human incarnation and this divine play of in the human body? Because through this one can listen the words of the Lord, and the Lord enjoys the bliss being in the human frame. So when he comes, he brings his apostles. The apostles come to carry on the mission of the Lord himself. And the power of all the apostles is so tremendous that they rule the country, rule the world at different phases of life and phases of time period. So one day at Baranagar, Sri Ramakrishna, how he brought this bond and make these people whom we see before us as apostles of the avatar incarnation. They built his life, Sri Ramakrishna built their life. They are special selected people. They are not ordinary people. We are born by our own samskaras, by our own impulses. And we act according to, we wipe out our karma by good action, and with bad action we also add our bad karmas. But this incarnation brings these special people for his mission to fulfill. They are ever pure. They are ever pure by their very nature. But they come only for the good of humanity to carry on the mission of the Master. And Sri Ramakrishna created this bond, particularly when he started in Dakshineshwar. That was the collection. He collected these people. One by one, people come to know Naren, Rakhal, these, that, one by one they are coming and assembling. It became more solidified, centering on the love of Ramakrishna. They more become united when gradually in the Shampukur, where Sri Ramakrishna after throat cancer was moved there. And lastly, in Kashipur garden house, where he bonded these apostles into deep connection of eternal love and fraternity, centering around the one ideal of God realization. No other purpose of life, only one purpose, and that is God realization. And there we find that Sri Ramakrishna then, as we know, Sri Ramakrishna then ultimately, because of the cancer, he was giving up his body. But he was giving the responsibility to Naren. It's a great mission, started there itself. Naren gave the responsibility to Naren, and he said that you are most intelligent among all these boys. And I will not be here. You take care of them and keep them in one bondage and love. And that was Vivekananda's another great mission. And that created this whole tradition of Ramakrishna movement. But how it has its own price. To create this bond, they had to renounce everything. And that Sri Ramakrishna did it by its unique personality, unique spiritual attraction. They were all drawn towards Sri Ramakrishna. But after Sri Ramakrishna passed away, to hold on to that friendship and bondage, eternal friendship, that is one unique affair which can be entrusted to two great souls, Swami Vivekananda and then Swami Brahmananda. Swami Vivekananda, after that, inspired everyone. When they left home, we all know the history. after Sri Ramakrishna's passing away, then they all left for their home, because some are students and some parents were very antagonistic to coming to this Sri Ramakrishna, and even they are very much bothered with the Sri Ramakrishna's presence. Somebody said that I prayed how much to Mother Kali, that's why that guy is gone now. Sri Ramakrishna's death was a joy to him, because his son was getting entangled with this mad guy Ramakrishna, giving up his education and other things. So we find that after Sri Ramakrishna's passing away, it was a great job, and we know that Swami Vivekananda got the dream or vision to collect all these young boys together and assembled them together in Baranagar monastery. And what a tremendous austere period they went on. But there they grew into the greater depth of friendship. Though there is hunger, though there is no material benefit, even food was uncertain, clothing was very little, meager. One set of cloth was there, which they used to use when outside gentlemen come to visit them. They used to have some kopinam, lion cloth, and they used to live in that lion cloth itself, in the monastery itself. One room is there. When someone visiting person comes, one hanging cloth they used to use to meet the people. Such was the level of poverty. But what a tremendous spiritual force was created there after being involved, all of them getting involved into the deep practice of spiritual awakening. And there we find that they are day and night absorbed in God-intoxicated mood for doing japa, meditation, prayer, study of the scriptures, and the whole world is forgotten, as it were. And in that incident, one day, there is a story that one day at the Baranagar monastery, Maharaj, Rakhal, Noren and others, they were all there, but it came to the thought that let us test together that how Sri Ramakrishna looks after us or not. So Maharaj and others decided that we will not go for begging or anything today. So we'll all sit, and they made a resolution, all sat together in their japa or meditation. The whole day passed, and they said, I will not request any devotee to bring any food or anything. Just we will see what happens. If whether Sri Ramakrishna is there, is still looking after us, or is there any impossibility. So we can test that. And then actually whole day passed. They were only doing prayers and meditation and japa. Evening came, and it is becoming late. They thought, anyhow they forgot that they are engrossed in their meditation. But suddenly at a little late in the night, and someone is knocking at the door. Swami Vivekananda and told, Brahmananda Maharaj was also there. He told somebody to go and find who is knocking the door, if he has brought any food or not. And it was surprisingly, they opened the door and they found that one man came with a good amount of food in a tray, and carrying a tray from the nearby one temple. It is called Lala Babu's temple. There is Lal Baba. Lal Baba was a saint, and he went into Himalayas, and they have a branch maybe in nearby this Kashipur garden. I didn't know that. But there, the tray, and surprised that they came with a full plate of very delicious meal, and then and Swami Vivekananda see how Sri Ramakrishna protects us. We think that we have to steal his love, is protecting us. So that is the way, and they offered it to Sri Ramakrishna, and then they took prasad. So Baranagar monastery tied them together very deeply in their spiritual practice and dedication and sacrifice. And Swami Vivekananda was a great force, and Brahmananda was a great force there. And great love and respect they carried for each other. We know different stories of the lives of Brahmananda Swami. Sri Ramakrishna gave the responsibility to Vivekananda, but Vivekananda stayed for only few years. And he also entrusted his all responsibility of the monastery to Maharaj. You are the, Ramakrishna said that you have the capacity to run a kingdom. So you are our head. So I am nothing. So he said that, but he used to control everything in a sense, not by controlling, but by love. But everyone used to go to him for asking suggestion. So, but that story, one Swami, you can find that in the story of Swami Vijnanananda. He said, I am the culprit for this incident, but it is Swami Brahmananda who got the scolding. There was one time that story came that the Belur Math was already established there. And one day Swami Vivekananda asked Swami Vijnanananda, he is the great engineer, so we need to make the embankment near so that everyone can take a bath. That's called Swamiji's bathing ghat, the steps landing down. And it is done so that how much is the money? And Swami Vijnananda estimated a little low estimate, so that Swamiji will agree to start the work. So he said, how much money will be needed? And Vijnananda Maharaj, low estimate, he said that it will be about 3,000 will be okay. And then Swami Vivekananda called Brahmananda, Raja, that patient, Vijnananda is saying that it is within 3,000 it can be done. If you permit, then that work can be started. So he as a good man, he said, okay Swami, it is good, let us start then. And he didn't do anything, but anyhow. So as work went on and on and on, and naturally the money was spent and the work is not finished yet. And then Swami Vivekananda then called, and not Vijnananda, he is the culprit, but he caught Raja. Said, you pulled me into this job and the money is gone, where the money will come? And why do you trouble me like that? And he got into great scolding. And Maharaj didn't say anything, but very silently he went to his room. And then Swamiji thought that I didn't do a good job to ask Vijnananda patient, hey patient, go, find what Raja is doing. So he went there, he saw that the door is shut and the louvers are all closed and he is not responding. Then he came back and reported to Swamiji. Then Swamiji scolded him. I told him to see what he is doing. You are reporting that door is closed. Go and pull him. So again he knocked, and then when door was open, he found that Swami Brahmananda is sobbing, putting his head on the pillow. And for no fault, he got such a good scolding. So he was sobbing like that. Then you know the beautiful story. Then by that time Maharaj came to Swamiji. Swamiji said, brother, I am not fit to stay in this monastery. Because you are Krishna Shakha, the friend of Krishna, of Vrindavan, and you dance and play with Krishna. And you are the spiritual son of Sri Ramakrishna. And he used to feed you with so much love and affection, with your butter and candy and other things. And I have scolded you, so I am not fit to stay over here. And now, Maharaj said, no, you should scold us. Because you are like our elder brother. And elder brother is nothing but like father. And Sri Ramakrishna gave you the responsibility to look after us. So you have scolded, that is your job, you should have to do. So rather I created this trouble by giving you a low estimate. He is accepting, he is taking the load on himself. Maharaj is taking the load on himself. And rather misguided you, so I should not stay. And he said, I should not stay. And the Maharaj says, I do not have to stay here. And then they embraced each other, and the thing happened, ended in great joy. So that is their deep love and their deep affection. And it's all centered around Sri Ramakrishna. And we find that this apparent in action, sometimes there is some difference of opinion, but in the deep background of their life, that was the unique characteristic of love. Another story with Swami Brahmananda, because we are thinking about how the other brother disciples used to work with him and talk with him, and how he used to behave with them. There is a story, very simple story. A simple story is that Swami Brahmananda, you know, he is for love. He feels the suffering of anyone and he will give everything, whatever he has. So his heart was full of love. Even he loved the young boys of Calcutta University, so that Ashutosh Mukherjee, the Vice Chancellor of the University, of Calcutta University that time, blamed Premananda, because who is that Premananda? He is all spoiling the most brilliant students of the university, and they are becoming monk. He is there to attract everyone with love and affection and making them renounce their life. They could have been great scientists and great people of the society, good, highly educated person. That was Premananda's bad reputation. And he was to help anyone in any distress, any condition. So one day, a poor guy came, and he used to look after the garden. He used to take care of the garden and then managing the needs of the cooking, cleaning, everything in the monastery. Early days there are very few people. And he gave away one pumpkin, which is grown in the agricultural ground of Belur Math. And Maharaj saw that. And then he called Baburam Maharaj and said, see Baburamda, he used to call brother, elder brother Baburam. Why? He was age-wise little older maybe, that's why he's called Baburamda. He said, Baburamda, I am the president. How can you give this pumpkin without asking me? See what type of petty things to our mind, it will be just a unbelievable thing, such a petty thing. One pumpkin which has no value in those days, in even not a penny worth material that much. And a poor guy in the neighboring village, and he came, and then he heard, Premananda Swami heard the difficult situation of his home. So he gave that one pumpkin, okay, go and at least eat something. And Maharaj called him and scolded. And then, as is natural, we are human beings, no? They are all Brahmogyanis. Just see which level they are interacting with things. We think that we are only bad people, nah? We fight with each other. No, it's a human being. But ours and theirs is difference. We remember these fights and anger or frustration forever and not forget. And they are different people. They live in another realm. This happens in the relative level of management and things, but they forget the next moment. So when this, and then Swami Premananda, he got very much hurt and he felt bad. So what he did, he was having one towel, light towel on his shoulder, and he was walking in the compound of the monastery. And then immediately, without looking back and forth, just he came down from Maharaj and started walking towards the gate, going out. I will not stay in the monastery. I being the manager, I do my garden, and I have grown this pumpkin, and I gave one pumpkin to a poor guy, and for that I have been scolded and I have done something wrong. So he felt so much hurt in the mind, wounded in the heart, and then he went. And he went, and almost he was just came to the gate, and suddenly he felt a pull. Someone is pulling with the towel in the neck, pulling back. My child, where do you go? Where are you going? And then he heard it is Sri Ramakrishna. So he turned back and then came to Maharaj and said, no, it is yours. I have done wrong. I have by giving this, because really you are the president. I should consult you to do that. I didn't do that. And Maharaj says, no, don't mind. It is just I said that because your heart is so broad, you will give away everything. That's why I wanted to make it a... See, little things, but it's a great lesson. How they are above all the limited things, about petty things, but at the same time, how they behave in the world, but they're not affected. Soon, momentarily, they will be affected, but not ultimately. The story is there. Maharaj used to love fishing. No, he will not catch fish, but he will play with the fish and then release the fish. So, but Mahapurush Maharaj, he is little elderly, and Maharaj used to tell with respect because of his little age. So he used to, Mahapurush Maharaj said, you should not, you are the president of the order, you should not go to fish in the pond, and people will come and see that our president is sitting with a rod in hand to fish it does not look good. Then what he will do? He will not say anything. Like you say, naughty boy being caught to do something. Then he said he will send through his devotees, some of the disciples, much earlier, the fishing rod has been sent before. And to catch fish you need some, what you call, chart, bait, those are already sent. And then he will watch when Mahapurush will be just little gone to room and he is going to sleep. In that moment he will sneak out and then go and sit there. And again Mahapurush Maharaj will say, Dada, my brother, you should not do like that. You are the president. But it is his fun. He will do. But you see how a Brahmagyani par excellence, being the president of the order, Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual son, he is like a child making a fun of going to fishing, and as if he is doing something wrong, so hide and seek, and then run away and sit whole day with a towel in the head and reading and fishing. And he will play, and in the fish is caught, then he will release it. Just for fun he used to do. So you see that simplicity, at the same time their love and respect relationship. That is the beautiful. And they will have tremendous respect for each other. We can find that one Subodhananda Swami, Khoka Maharaj. He was Sri Ramakrishna's one of the disciples. So one day he was ending towards his life. Subodhananda Maharaj was a little sick, and he is going to soon leave his body. And so everyone is requesting, no, Swami, please keep your mind in the body so that we need you. It is needed for our good, etc. But he said, no, I don't feel any more attraction for anything. I like to go back. And one day he said that one morning, in the early morning, I was seeing some dream that I have left this body and my mind has gone to another plane. And there I find Rakhal Maharaj, Baburam Maharaj, Jogin Maharaj, and others are in that higher plane. We find that they are all in joyful mood in a different plane of existence. But I could not find Swami Vivekananda, Swamiji. He said, I could not find Swamiji. And as we went there, Maharaj, Baburam Maharaj, Jogin Maharaj, They told me, "Are you, Khoka, come, sit with us, be with us here." Then I asked, "No, first tell me, where is Swamiji?" Then they said, "Swamiji, he is not here. He is far, far above in another plane. He has merged with God and totally absorbed in that plane." Then I said, Subodhananda, "Let it be far, far away, but I am moving towards him." And then I started walking, or I started moving towards that higher realm. And suddenly my dream broke, and there I felt that there is only bliss, and Maharaj, Baburam Maharaj, Jogin Maharaj are living in a city of bliss, and they are in great, great, great joy. It was difficult for me to come back from that state. So much suffering only that is in this world, but there is joy and eternal joy. So this may be a very simple imaginary thing to us, but for Swami Subodhananda, that is an experience. And you see how they have respect. Even in the dream we find that what a respect what Maharaj is carrying for Naren or other brother disciples and for themselves. So this is the different stories we find giving us different ideas about. There are stories, Rakhal Maharaj and Akhandananda Swami. Akhandananda Swami had a orphanage. You know that he started an orphanage in a remote place in Bengal. It's called Murshidabad. And he loved this, maybe such a Brahmagyani, par excellent Brahmagyani. He is living with 8 or 10 orphan boys. In the Muslim boys, orphan, nobody to take care. So he started taking care of them in the Murshidabad area, Sargachi, where is the center now. And he will be more happy to be there. But Maharaj occasionally used to pester him, come to Belur Math, come to Belur Math. And very rare he can pull him, because who will look after these boys? That was his point. And then once he came, and after staying for only few days, Akhandananda Swami is saying, I will have to go back, let me have the ticket. The train started, train journey was that time. So his ticket was purchased, but by Maharaj said, no, stay for some more days. Then Ramakrishna Puja is coming, or this celebration of Swamiji will happen like that. But he will say, no, I'll have to go, please. And then Raja Maharaj will make a plea and ask somebody to purchase a ticket, return ticket. And then, but the day comes, then Maharaj will say, why not cancel that? And then that again it will be cancelled some way and they'll stay. Ultimately one day he had to go. He said, no, I will not stay anymore. So Maharaj arranged for, in those days, there palanquin was there, or boat. So two stories are there. I read 2 stories. One place palanquin, another stay the boat. Palanquin story is that you go for from the Belur Math to the place where you are, rail station. So palanquin will carry you there. But he told the palanquin people who are carrying, you take him and go round and bring him back. So he innocently entered into the palanquin, and they're walking, and he is thinking he is coming to the railway station again. And then, after a long time, he's asking, how far, how far, how far? We'll miss the train, we'll miss the train. But anyhow, no, we are almost come. And then ultimately, they dropped him in the same balloon mat courtyard. And Maharaj was standing there, and a mischievous smile. They exchanged each other, and then he stayed further. So see, they loved each other in such a way. And for that, they used to play this type. This appears very childlike, simple, childlike play. No. But what is happening to which category of people? They are all excellent Brahmagyanis, but see their normal behavior. They love so much that they want to be close and to stay together. And he will go back, but he will pull him back here. So, Maharaj used to, let me find another story. Sometimes Maharaj used to get little grave. When he gets grave, then everyone will be in difficulty. Because when he becomes little to withdrawn, and so one day, there came Maharaj went to Benaras, and he is not coming to Belur Math. And the president does not come in the Belur Math. President's presence is a big thing. But others have started gossiping, something may have happened with Premananda and Maharaj, Baburam Maharaj and Maharaj. So Maharaj is angry. That's why he is staying in Benaras and not coming back. So he said, hearing that, he said, let me then go to Benaras and say, is it so, Maharaj, that you are really angry with me, and did I do any offensive thing, so you didn't like it, that's why you have come away, that is the people are talking about. So with that idea he came all through to Benaras to take him back. But before coming he said, you boys, Premananda consulted Sarvadevananda Maharaj and decided that he will go to Benaras himself. And before that, he called the newly ordained brahmacharis and said, you boys, you love me very much, but you have not seen Maharaj. Some of them are newer. They say, you have not seen Maharaj. If you see once Maharaj, you will not love me anymore. Then the boys said, what are you talking, Maharaj? Then in reply he said, yes, I tell you the truth. He is the spiritual son of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna used to see Gopala, baby Gopala, working in the body of Maharaj. And that you will be in attraction, his attraction is such, you will not be able to forget that. Then actually Baburam Maharaj then went to Benaras, and then he approached Maharaj. Maharaj said, no, who says that? But then Swami, you will have to come back to Belur Math. Then he went anyhow, but he went to Allahabad, and then from there he came back to Belur Math. And as he reached the Belur Math, then Premananda Swami Baburam Maharaj, writing a letter to probably Abhedananda or somebody, that Maharaj have come here, and you see the math, the monastery is full of people. Crowd are visiting Maharaj. There is no space in the ground or in the second floor, as if every day there is a good festivity. Festive days are going on. Sri Ramakrishna's presence gave that joy, and Maharaj's presence used to give that joy. One incident is said that one time Maharaj went to Devbhog to Nag Mahasaya's home, seeing the Nag Mahasaya's place. You know, Nag Mahasaya was Ramakrishna's disciple. He is a unique disciple. He has such devotion that it is, Swami Vivekananda used to say that because of Nag Mahasaya, the whole of eastern part of India is totally will be liberated by his spirituality. But when he went there, Maharaj and Premananda, both, then with the beating of the drums and in Dhaka and Narayanganj, many people accompanied them. And reaching there, Swami Premananda becomes so absorbed in spiritual mood that he took out his shirt and just rolling into the ground of that holy land where Nag Mahasaya is born. And then they started dancing and singing and chanting the name of the Lord. And Maharaj was just sitting in one place and he was talking that Nag Mahasaya was the embodiment of pure love, unconditional devotion. He was the embodiment of that. And that mood, at that point, Brahmananda Swami became very spiritually intoxicated. And in a half-muttered word, he said, Maharaj, Swami Brahmananda, Maharaj, please bless them. And saying so, he pulled him into the place of that place where singing and dancing was going on in the name of God. And there, the music was going on. Oh, my mind, get absorbed into the lake, in the ocean of the joy of God. And then they were singing Hari, the name of the Hari, the Lord. And when this song was going on, Maharaj then stood up and giving a loud voice, he also got intoxicated and he started dancing and singing amongst them, amongst the singers. And gradually Maharaj went into Bhava Samadhi. In that Samadhi of absorption, totally merged into it. Seeing this unique state of Maharaj, all hold him. His both hands were fixed and the body became like that of a dead body. What a unique vision, and everyone's heart was filled with a spiritual wave of joy. They all looked at Maharaj, the unique divine state with their unblinking eyes and their heart filled with love of God. It took long time for Maharaj to come back to this state. So this is the point. You see how this Maharaj, Baburam Maharaj is himself a person of total intoxication in love, but he wanted to bless. He can bless. Baburam Maharaj has his own capacity to bless this congregation. But he went to Maharaj, that deep respect and love, and they saw Ram Maharaj something special than them. And that he brought him inside the congregational group, and there everyone got the touch of the divine bliss, what Maharaj himself was absorbed into it. We find the Shashi Maharaj, Swami Ramakrishnananda, Maharaj visited the South India and different places of pilgrimage, and then he created a room where Maharaj will stay in the Madras Mount. And all arrangements were going on. And that time he called the inmate of the monastery, that Swami Brahmananda is the son, spiritual son. Please remember this. When you will go to visit Maharaj, you will only get a glimpse of what Maharaj was like. The ego of Swami Brahmananda has been totally obliterated. Whatever he says, whatever he does, that is the inspiration of Ishvara or Sri Ramakrishna. We know and we respect him. We devote, we love him as the Sri Ramakrishna spiritual son. Ramakrishna is to see him as his own son. He used to lie down in Sri Ramakrishna's room, sometimes within the same mosquito curtain. Seeing the tattered cloth, if sometimes Rakhal used to wear, he used to cry. Ramakrishna used to cry, "Oh, there is nobody to give a fresh cloth to Rakhal." If anyone used to bring fruits and sweets or other eatable items, he used to tell them all, "Oh, keep all those things for my Rakhal. I eat through his mouth. Therefore, if you feed him, then it will be as good as feeding me." Quote ends. This is all Swami Brahmananda. He gave this instruction to the devotees of the center in the Madras Mott. Sri Ramakrishna one story, another 5 minutes. That among the intimate disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, there was a great loving relationship. But some stories also happen which really breaks the cord, as it were. So Maharaj, when he was staying in Madras, Vivekananda's inspired talks was published, and for his publicity and sale, Maharaj expressed great enthusiasm. He advised that send a book to Hindu national paper so that they can critique it, and that will go to the Brahmai for their assessment. Ramakrishna Anandaji forcefully said that these two papers, it should simultaneously, they should come up together. Maharaj said it should come one by one. This type of discussion was going on. Suddenly Maharaj became very silent, and then he said, that's true. You are the head of this center. You are the person to look after all these things. Why I am putting my thought into it is my mistake. And Ramakrishna Anandaji, hearing this, he was so upset that Maharaj has become totally indifferent. And he instantly can come to know that Maharaj has decided to go back to Puri Jagannath. And when he heard this, he said that he could not tolerate it anymore. He means the Ramakrishna-nanda. Ramakrishna-nanda is the abbot of the Madras Mott, and Maharaj's opinion was that it should go one first and the second, but he thought it should be simultaneously published. So see, little thing as it were. But as soon as he heard it, say Maharaj withdrew. And see how they understand that what will be the ultimate good, what Maharaj thinks that will be the ultimate good. So but he is saying no to that. That's why Maharaj withdrew, and because he didn't say anything, he privately said, "Oh, you are the head of the center, so you should decide what is good. Why I am putting my head into these affairs?" And then see the reaction. That's a beautiful word. And Maharaj decided to go back to Puri, another center, from Madras to Jagannath Puri place. And Ramakrishna Nanda could not bear it. Then, in the early morning, he went to Maharaj and saluted him, and with utmost urge, bending his head, he said, Maharaj, why are you depriving me from your grace? If you don't bless me, then who will bless? There is nothing more valuable in my life than your grace. You know, Maharaj, you can create thousands of Ramakrishnananda just now. Will you not excuse me? Then Maharaj became very quiet, and his face beamed with joy, and Shashi Maharaj also felt great solace. See the relationship, love, respect, and then both of them embraced each other, and all the sufferings of Shashi Maharaj was released. So, and also, Maharaj also told, in appreciation of Ramakrishnananda, I was with Shashi, means Ramakrishnananda. What a happy days I spent. Who can absorb the ideas of Sri Ramakrishna like Shashi did? For my trip to South India, he spent such a huge amount of money out of his bounty of love. So I was such happy. I was in such happy mood when I was in Madras. So you see, the relationship, inner relationship, is all centered to Sri Ramakrishna. And outside, sometimes in the work level. But see, we all find, if we go through individually all the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, we find that they are wonderfully dedicated to this brotherhood, and Maharaj, as a great guide, can rule this Belur Math with love, with his presence, with his spirituality. And it was a great question when Swami Vivekananda passed away. In the Indian newspaper, critics of Belur Math came like that, this Ramakrishna order will now get dwindled into dust because Swami Vivekananda is gone. Who will hold this spiritual tradition anymore? But it is the uniqueness of Maharaj, who actually, after passing away of Swamiji, maintained this order with high spiritual tradition and kept them in bond and tie of love. That is Ramakrishna order, and thus we are a part of it. So, if we take anything, that at the ultimate word is that Ramakrishna used to say that Sri Ramakrishna said one time that I will have to be born again one time more. And then he said, but then everyone will have to come. So Holy Mother said, I am not going to come again. Then Ramakrishna used a very beautiful word. You know, there is one type of spinach which grows in the ponds. You pull one and the whole bunch comes out. So it's called kolmi. Kolmi spinach, that is the kolmi shak. So he said, you will have to come when you are in that bond of kolmi. So he says, the Sri Ramakrishna's, all the children are unique. But special is Swami Brahmananda. And there, Swamiji once said that all the direct disciples, all the children of Ramakrishna, they are all unique and original. If one is not original, he is not a child of Ramakrishna. It is on this Latu Maharaj's words that can be found that this is Swami Brahmananda's uniqueness. He is a unique person. There is no parallel of him. those who have the opportunity to come close to them, they have understood better. As if in Maharaj, somebody told those who came to Maharaj very close, they said, in Maharaj, there is no deep force of rules to bind them. And he has no end of spiritual moods. He is unique. He is very special. And that his life have given tremendous spiritual impact into the Ramakrishna order. Thank you. Om Kalindi Fulla Kamale Madhavena Kridarato Brahmananda Namastubhyam Sadguru Lokonayakaha Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I will bow down to the teacher, the great teacher, the leader of humankind, that Brahmananda, who always dances with the Lord Krishna, the Madhava, on the full-bloom lotus over the river Kalindi, Kaljamuna. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace be unto us all.